Hello, 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 my lovely friends. Welcome, Janine and Chris.
Hi, Richie.
Lovely to be here.
Lovely to see you, Janine. I'm really excited because it's been a really long time since you've been here. So
It has.
Thank you so much for coming along. I'm really
Thank you
excited.
for inviting me.
How have you both been? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. I mean, it's like sort of, and we were doing something similar last week, weren't we? So we've just sort of, this is nice. This is part two, with extra mayhem because he's added in. So I think.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's just fun. It's hanging out with friends and pulling a few.
Congratulations to you both for your brand new decks that you're releasing onto the market. It's very exciting.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Look at us three creators here. It's really exciting to be here. Yeah. And it's really exciting to be using the decks for the first time. Well, for me, for doing readings.
Oh, God, because this is your deck's first public outing tonight, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It's quite nerve-wracking.
Well, I said it before we came live. I've got severe back design envy. You have basically created the best back design ever on a Lenormand. Not that I'm jealous. Not that I'm jealous in any way, shape, or form. Not that I wish I had that idea.
I'll tell you what, I'll have to have it put on a reading cloth, won't I?
Oh, God, yeah. 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 Janine's the queen of reading cloths, though.
And I would have to say, I would like that design on a snowboard as well. I snowboard. I haven't done it for many years, but I can imagine it would look absolutely beautiful on a snowboard. So there you go. Design a snowboard.
No, just look at that. Just I'll have it again.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
I'm going to have to get used to people paying compliments to me. I'm really bad at taking compliments.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know why, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I think Janine should hold her reading cloth up as well, because that's even more.
Yes,
that is just.
Let's just
This is just
celebrate it.
This is class. Just look at that.
That's cool.
Actually, having your own reading cloth with your box design from your new deck.
You. Yeah, that was a present from my dad on the completion of the deck. Actually, it was a congratulations. We've actually finished it, finalized it. So his reading cloth.
That's so nice. Well, I'm really excited that we're going to be pulling cards and doing readings for people. So I'm going to just put the blurb out because we have to do a bit of blurb, a bit of house rules, I suppose, because in this country, you have to let people know that it's for entertainment purposes only. So here we go. So I'm going to read the blurb out and then we're done and we can enjoy ourselves here. So let's wait for it to go. Scroll past. So if you would like a reading from us, we're all going to pull cards, a few cards each. So if you have a particular question you would like us to have a go answering with our cards, please pop it into chat, put it into capitals. If you would like a general read, perhaps for the month of December or for the end of the year, that's fine too. I think we're pretty much happy to do whatever we like. However, entertainment purposes only. We're not going to read for health, financial, or legal matters. Seek professional help if that is something that you need some advice on. And as I said, please put your questions in capital and only once. I will do my best to try and pull people out in order, but you can start putting them in now, and I will be starring people and saving them up whilst we do a bit more of a chit-chat. So, Janine, ladies first. Tell us a little bit about your wonderful Oracle deck.
Well, thank you. Well, can I just say hello to everyone who's just come on as well? So, Aspasia, Beneficio, Eve, nice to see you.
We'll go through and say hello. Yeah, there's loads of people jumping in now. That's fantastic.
So it began as a collaboration with my father. So this is the box, and it's an Oracle deck. It's 44 cards. It's a little bit different because I wanted it to have 4 different coloured backs, which publishers don't tend to like because they want the same backs. That is always an issue. So I have a brown back, and they feature bridges because the bridges, and it's called the Oracle deck of bridges, are the connection to the question and the connection to the answer. The purple back is for spiritual, and then the blue back is for emotions,
Lovely.
and then the yellow is for thoughts. So there are 11 cards in each different pack. And you can really easily connect to them on a daily basis. So you don't have to learn any kind of structure like the tarot, any astrological connection, any Kabbalah. The oracle cards are just very easy to connect to. And it was lovely working with my dad as well, because he's a fantastic graphic artist, graphic designer. And we worked with this over a year, and we decided to self-publish it. So we got a printer down in London, and I'm selling my cards over Etsy. So very different to the In-Between Tarot, where I've got Lo Scarabeo publishing. Now I'm doing all of the marketing and all of the advertising myself.
Lovely. I've just popped actually the link to your Etsy shop into the
thank you very much.
there,
Thank you.
so people can find it there and make purchases. Fantastic gift for Christmas. Thank you, Janine. I'm really excited to see what the oracle is about and all the images in it tonight.
Thank you.
Chris, over to you. Hello.
Oh,
tell us a little bit about your deck, and I'm going to put a link into the chat to you as well.
I wasn't sort of intending to be putting a new deck out, and this is actually a new deck but an old deck. I did it for fun. I actually designed the first version for fun back in, I think it was 2007, 2008. And what it was the Quantum Tarot, which was my first published project. That was I illustrated for an amazing author called Kay Stopforth. I wanted to do something to say thanks for Kay for the collaboration. So it was also a bit of a joke, because I knew it would be lovely to sort of dedicate a tarot deck to her. But then I set myself the sort of, I think I must have been a bit drunk when I did this, because I set myself the task of, right, I said, you are going to create a tarot deck, but you've got to do it out of stuff that's on the computer. So it's either got to be custom shapes or clip art that you've got on the computer or that you find on the net. And kind of a bit of a silly thing to do, but it turned into quite a zany project, because I wanted to do something. I'd never done a deck that was Marseille based. So I wanted to do something that was inspired by the sort of Marseille tarot. And I actually ended up a couple of weeks later, I'd actually managed to scrabble together a deck just out of clip art and custom shape. Now, it's been revised twice since then and refined, and I've changed the colors. So what we've actually ended up with is this, which is what was so funny was it's the Le Tarot Millénaire de Marseille.
Right.
It is now, because it used to be the first version I call Le Millénaire Tarot de Marseille. And what I didn't realize was that actually for 10 years I'd got the grammar wrong. So I can't think the spirit of those Marseille woodcutters that were constantly misspelling all the card names, kind of coming through me. So it's been spell corrected for this version. But basically what it is, I used clip art and custom shapes as silhouettes, and I've colored them in the colors that you would find on a Marseille deck. If you're a Marseille purist, don't come anywhere near, because you're going to be so offended by this. Because it's like, when you're only working with clip art, you've got to make do amends. So, but this is a fond but slightly tongue-in-cheek Marseille tribute. It's very different from anything I've done previously. Because my work, I mean, anyone who knows my work will know that it's quite multi-layered, it's quite rich, whereas this is really pared back.
Right.
But it was just nice to have the opportunity to do a deck with, just illustrated traditional pip cards.
Yeah.
But with a modern twist. So this is my deck. It's
fantastic.
It's available through makeplayingcards.com. So this is the first time that I've kind of gone through this platform. So basically, again, you obviously when you order from Make Playing Cards, it's print on demand.
Yeah.
So your copy is printed as you order it. It works great for me at the moment, because I'm in a situation I would have loved to have gone forward and maybe crowdfunded this, but because of my current work situation and the fact that I'm also sort of, caring for family with health issues, I needed a platform that would allow me to just put it up there and make the deck available for people as and when they wanted it. And NPC have sort of come up with the goods. I mean, I'm really thrilled with this. Was the first copy, and I'm just really thrilled with the quality of it. So
Lovely.
yeah, so this wasn't new, but one of my friends kind of picked me up on it about a month or so ago and just said, what did you ever do with that deck? And it's like, and he just said, just get it out there, make it available.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don. And likewise, it was just fun to revisit it and just to spruce it back up to, just bring it up to scratch and then finally to sort of get it out there. So yeah. Le Tarot de Marseille.
And the link is in the chat if anybody would like to order that from MPC. Janine, I was going to ask you, do you read Marseille Tarot? Or you just
that is so the Marseille is one that I never really felt drawn to. So I have it, but I never pick it up.
I'm out my comfort zone.
However, I like your interpretation of it, Chris. I like it brought up to date and brand new and modern. So actually, I would love to dive into that version because the old version I don't feel a connection to, but the fact that you brought it up to date and modern really inspires me to want to actually pick it up. So I like your version better. Please don't shoot.
It is really nice colour.
I like Chris's version because it's. I mean, I'll let you into a secret. I'm out my comfort zone. I do read with these, but not very often. Pip style decks because I'm a Pamela Coleman Smith boy. And I'm so used to working with those images, or and when I've created my own decks, it's been, actually with her as the main inspiration. Yeah. So it's working with these. It's good because it does take me out of my comfort zone, and I'm kind of developing new reading skills as I go. But it was just nice. It was kind of nice just to think, well, I've never gone down this road before, so yeah. But,
it's stunning. It's really nice. Yeah, well done.
So, well done you. And while we're talking about it, well done us and well done me, because here I'm very excited to say is my very own first deck, Summer Lenormand.
Oh wow!
Is now available on MPC. Let's chuck a link in as well.
Yeah.
So that if anybody wants it.
Tell us about the genesis of this, because it was what you've told me already is really fascinating. How this project started.
I think I'm going to be telling this story lots, so you're the first one I can tell. I have quite a lot of time off in the summer because I'm a school teacher. And so I remember at one point I just thought I've always been interested in creating a deck, and a tarot with so many cards was just a little bit off-putting to perhaps start with. So I've talked to a lot of people about making a deck, an oracle deck or something, but never got around to doing it. It's typical me. And then I kind of took a couple of photos of things. But they'd make really good Lenormand images. Yeah. And then it dawned on me, and I'm like, right, let's see if I can, just for my own personal memories of my summer, which was spent visiting lots of wonderful places in the UK, can I collect all 36 images that would represent for me the Lenormand deck, so that I can just make my own personal deck? And that was it. What it's going to be, just one deck, just for me. That was it. And then people got really excited about it and asked if they could have a copy. So then I put it onto MPC. Now there's two versions, and it's just the cards are the same. It's just one's in a tuck box and the other one's in a metal tin for people to decide what they want to do. And I've also decided that a proportion of the money that I sell for each one is going to go to the Woodland Trust charity as well.
That's
I didn't design it as making me lots of money. I just wanted to do a bit of, because I love walking in the countryside, and the Woodland Trust, as you I'm sure you know, fantastic charity that preserves our countryside and our wildlife. That's what I wanted to do. So, and it's out there now, and so this is the first time we're going to do some readings with it. So if you are
glad you put it out there, because I mean, even when you showed me some of the images when it was in progress, I was kind of thinking, this is actually too good to just have the own copy printed.
It was a little bit like, do you remember I Spy books?
Yeah.
Janine will be too young to remember I Spy.
No, I do. I still got
but
some.
My summer holidays, my mum would always buy me an I Spy book, which was basically a little book with a list of things that you had to spot around the theme. Right. It might be transport, it might be wildlife. And it was a little bit like that. I had a checklist of things that I had to find and spot and record. And towards the end of the summer, it was getting a little bit dodgy because there's not too many snakes and whips around in my life. So I had to do a little bit of, I had to take a day trip up to London to go and locate a few. And my last card that I managed to capture was the Scythe. And there's a lovely story that I'm going to share later on about that one there. So, but I'm really excited to be using it and having an Oracle deck, a Tarot deck, and a Lenormand deck. I don't know what the readings are going to be like tonight. It's going to be fantastic.
Isn't it?
So if you would like a reading from us all together, please, again, pop it into capitals, into chat. I will star you. We will in a moment get on and do some readings for you once we said hello to a few people. If you've got a general theme, if you've got a specific question, I've already got some of you already. Might have already got you, so we're doing your reading in a moment. Sheila, hello to you. I'll be doing your reading in a moment as well.
Hi, Jonathan. Jonathan's on board as well.
Oh, Jonathan, have I missed you? Let's say hello. Jonathan was first in there. Hello to you, my friend. I hope you're well. Hope you're surviving your volcano. I hope you're not in too much trouble with that.
Yes.
Yes. So hope you're okay. Hello, MA, to you. Very pleased to see you here. Yeah. Hello to Beth. Hello to everyone there. Ben is here. Hello, Ben. Now, Ben is doing a live at 10 o'clock UK time with the lovely Angie. Some Christmas readings, I believe. So do make, Ben, if you want to chuck a link into the chat here to connect up for people so they know it's at 10 o'clock and they can find it, you're more than welcome. It's lovely to see you here. Beth says, look at you three artistes. I feel like I'm sitting in the pit at Shakespeare.
Just reserve.
They decided to put me in the middle as well.
You had to go in the middle because they were like two boiled eggs, weren't we, with our heads with the glasses, so it broke up.
Disproportionate until we sort of moved around. You look fabulous in the middle. You really do.
I don't mind going in the middle.
So, Maita, hello to you. Hang around. We're going to be doing your readings in a moment. Ren is here, not working, but lurking. So it's lovely to see you here. And Sheila, hello to you. We'll do a reading for you very, very shortly. Hello, Heather, my darling. It's lovely to see you here. Hope you're doing okay. And the artistic talent in this live is overwhelming, says Ben.
Wow.
Oh, too lovely. It's so sweet. Everyone's going, Ben, 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 Ben. Heather would like a reading, so I will star you. And Jonathan, I didn't catch you, but I put you as a star. If you would like a reading, I'll pop you in as well there. And if anybody else coming into chat would like us to do a reading, we're more than happy to do it. So are we ready, folks?
Go for it.
I'm going to have a little slurp of tea just to get into
I'm going to have a slurp of my chamomile, then I'm going to start shuffling. How does that sound?
That's okay. Do you take long to shuffle, Chris?
I'm a bit OCD. Don't.
You're not going to have to reorder the cards in between each one, are you?
My secret's out.
We could be here a long time tonight, folks.
It was like I just would make Kay incredulous because, of course, we'd start any work sessions with a reading, and she didn't realise how OCD I was. And when I started putting my cards back in order, she kind of just looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" And it's like I'm resetting the deck. I didn't think anything of it. It's like, you do that every time. And I had another mate call me CDO. When I asked him what it was, he just said, that's OCD with the letters in alphabetical order.
I love that. That's brilliant.
So, hang on. I'll slurp my tea.
I can't wait to use that. Thank you.
Oh, Chris, we love you for you. I love it. I love it. Do you have any little routines, Janine, when you're preparing for a reading?
I might have told you last time. I'm like a chaos theorist, really. I like to mix all the decks up. I like to go into people's houses and mix their alphabetical books and records up and things.
Oh, I'm not inviting you here.
I have a lot. I just like to mix things up. I really do, but not just tarot readings, life in general. Perhaps I am just that way inclined because I'm an Aries sun. So yeah, I don't tend to have a particular order, which is probably good for lives.
Yeah.
I've just noticed my best friend's come into chat. My lovely friend Philippa is. Pip was with me when I took some of the photos, particularly the ones in Stratford that appear in this deck.
Well,
so it's lovely to see.
This is obviously best friend night because Sheila is actually one of my best female friend. So it's so that's nice. So
I don't have a best friend. Will somebody be my best friend for tonight, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's nice.
It's fine as long as you don't come and reorder me bookshelves when I ask you over.
I will one day.
And Heather says, "Happy birthday, Rick Savage, a Def Leopard today."
Yeah.
What does that make? Just thinking, where are we? Are we in Sagittarius at the moment?
We are, yes.
We are.
Yeah. There we go. See, I picked something up along the way, haven't we? There you go. Ben said, "I'll be your best friend, Janine." He's been wonderful to me. He's got great comic sense, and he's got an awful lot of decks as well. I have to be honest. Yeah, he's got enough decks to give us all 3 times over. But he's a wonderful, wonderful person.
He's just gained 3 new best friends. You know.
I am.
Hi, Madwich. Lovely to see you here. And Beth says, "Janine, I believe you're mischievous. You seem to have energy to me."
I am. I try to keep it under wraps a lot of the time, but it just comes out like bubbles.
I shared the table with her at the tarot conference. It was mayhem.
If you ever see the pictures from that tarot conference, you'll see a really good shot of me and Chris having a gossip, right? And you see Chris's face like that. Because I'm telling him something really good. And I said, don't tell anybody. And then I think Kim caught it on camera. So there's actually a picture of us gossiping.
Yeah, we did have a laugh, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's get on with the reading. We could be here gossiping all night and never pull a card at this rate, couldn't we? So you're shuffling. Let us know when you're done.
I'm done. No chance, I'm done.
So we're going to pull a couple of cards. It's down to you to decide whether how many cards you want. We're going to see. We've never done Oracle, Lenormand, and Tarot together. At least I've never done this, so I don't know how it's going to work out. It's all a bit of an experiment, but let's see if we can pull things to see if we can get together. So the question was from Maita. The boyfriend doesn't know what he should do after the military. So what does Spirit recommend for him? That's a really nice question. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna pick 2 cards and then kind of treat them as a combination. What about you guys?
I'm going for 3.
Right. What about you, Janine?
I'm going to go with 4 because I'm using the split deck for for mind, spirit, emotions, and body.
Right.
You can start whenever you like. So whoever won't take it in turns. Whoever wants to go first, whenever you're ready.
And 2.
I can go.
Go in there. You start, Janine, by all means.
Okay, so the question is, boyfriend doesn't know what he should do after the military. What does Spirit recommend for him? So I've pulled a card from each of the different packs that are involved in my Oracle deck. And the brown ones are to do with the physical body. So the first one I pulled is the concentration on nutrition. Okay, so he needs to get his body back to scratch. Okay, really focus on what he's putting into his body. Okay, and looking after himself. It's a real card to focus on health, to kind of step back. So have a little bit of space. Okay, not to jump straight back into work or maybe not even any kind of project. Just kind of have that space and step back and really have a think about what he's doing to do with nutrition, his the food that he's eating, etc. Really looking after himself. We've got one for the mind as well. So these are the yellow cards, and assertion as well. So it's also a need to kind of build his confidence back up. Okay, if there's anything that he's been holding back on or has been feeling nervous about expressing, okay, to kind of think about what he wants to do next, okay, and to kind of find his voice again. It's all about finding a sense of who he is and what he wants to do next, okay, and building up that confidence to do it. So I'm getting the feeling that he needs a bit of respite, a bit of a rest period. From the spirit deck, which is the purple deck, I've got one of connection. Okay, so we're going to find that everything's going to start to slot into place. Okay, everything is connected. We're all made of energy. All our experiences, past, present, future, the people that we meet, everything is connected for a reason. So this is saying that this is happening at the right time for him. Okay, he needs to have that bit of a pause, a bit of a respite, and everything's going to start to fall into place. And the final card is from the emotions, which is the blue one. I've got the sacral chakra. Okay, so sacral chakra is about protection. It's about vulnerability. It's also about thinking very deeply about your emotions, how you display your emotions, and also about connection to the past. So he really needs to take that time out. He really does, because there's a lot going on for him. There's the possibility that he's going to feel quite vulnerable, when he leaves. A big question about what he's got to do next, and he needs to take his time with it. The cards also say that things are going to start to fall into place. He's going to start to feel a bit more confident as well for having that time out. But he really needs to look after himself and his body, because that's why the nutrition card came up. So that was from me, from the Oracle deck. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll pass over to the guys.
Thank you, Janine. Chris, did you want to go?
Yeah. Now, it's really interesting because I picked 2 cards and then the third one pinged out. So I'm kind of going with that because I feel it actually, when I saw it, I thought, oh, this really makes sense. So first 2 cards, I got the 3 of Cups. Hang on. Oh, God. Oh,
I know, it's difficult to do in a reverse camera. You're doing well.
And the Devil. Now, it kind of, to me, this kind of ties in with what came through from Janine's, because I kind of was struck by the fact that leaving the military is a big thing. That's it. It's a kind of, it's not just a job, it's a way of life, and it's a structure. And I kind of felt that this 3 of Cups, I'm going to put that down and just one card. This 3 of Cups, I kind of felt, to me, there's a kind of sense of completion and celebration with the 3. And to me, it kind of said, enjoy the freedom initially, but it was also talking about, the Devil to me represents a sort of the kind of stuckness that we get when we kind of lose structure, we lose discipline, and I kind of felt that these 2 cards were kind of warring a little bit. And it was as if it was saying to me that actually enjoy the space that change is going to give you, but at the same time, don't let your guard down too much. And actually, probably that structure that you've relied on in the past is important. And then it was kind of confirmed with my extra card that popped out, because I kind of sensed that this was for pointing into the future, and it was the Emperor. And again, it just highlighted to me that whichever path you choose, actually what's important is that framework and structure. Now, in the military, that's something that was created for you that you've slotted into. And maybe in the future, it's time to create your own structure. Yeah. But it was, again, the message for me was, a chapter is closed, and that can be bittersweet, but then it can be something to celebrate, but it can also be bittersweet. And I think sort of enjoy the new freedoms that your new life is going to give, but at the same time, just be aware that actually stepping out of that highly structured environment can bring its own problems as you adapt. And this Emperor card just kind of highlighted to me that, just be aware that to function successfully, you will probably need to replace one structure with another. And that whatever you build, whether it's something you build yourself or something that you step into, that's the kind of important factor. It's that it's bringing structure and boundaries and meaning into everyday life. So that's what came up with me anyway. So 3 of Cups, the Devil, and the Emperor.
Lovely, thank you. Well, my Lenormand cards really echoes what you two have said, because I've got the cross, house, and heart. So when I lay these down, I can see that we've got the cross is often about facing up to what has happened. It's not a particularly positive card because it's about facing up and realizing that perhaps what's gone on currently has gone on in the past needs addressing and needs sorting. The fact that you have the house here would suggest that what he actually needs is to come home, to spend time with his loved ones, to spend time with the family, but also to spend time in his own space, his headspace and his body, to actually start to heal, because it's going to be, as you said, a massive change that's going on. And so therefore, by going to home, and as I said, that can be his own mental space, or it can be where whatever he calls home. That is really important. And don't rush this. Allow as much time as needed for that readjustment to happen. The heart comes after that, which is a lovely card, which would suggest that there has been healing by going into this space, and that any of the things that have been thrown up by being in service or by being ruled by this cross is going to be healed and softened, and forgiveness can happen. And hopefully something beautiful will bloom even further out of it there. So that's really interesting how those three readings really gel together for you. So I really hope that helps, and that's giving you some food for thought there. I wish you all the very best with that one. Thank you very much for giving the question here. Thank you, everyone. Let's have a shuffle of the cards. If you need to have a sip, it's amazing cards all come together like that. With
this is actually, it's really powerful reading with three different systems.
Yeah,
you know, because it's giving some quite interesting perspectives, isn't
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very difficult with Lenormand, particularly following somebody reading a tarot card, is to try not to go down that road. So I'm trying to do my best of doing that, but
just go with
enough practice. Exactly.
Just go with your gut. I mean, even if you do end up going down that road, does it matter? It's fine.
It doesn't. Absolutely not. Hello, Calla. Hello, sneaking in late. Oh,
Hey, Calla.
Sit down at the back then.
Nita, I think the summary from it is to really give him some space. Yeah. You know, very often as well when we come, because I was in the Navy as well, and you get back and you think, I need to jump into something right away. But actually, sometimes your body rebels and says, no, you need time. And sometimes you need a massive space of time in order to adapt. And it can take you by surprise as well. Because I think we think as human beings, we're supposed to be like on a conveyor belt, bang, 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 bang. And it never works out like that, because you can feel the burnout. So I think that definitely said he needs that space to adapt, definitely.
And she said, I really had no idea how to counsel him. So there we go. I hope that helps and gives some suggestions there. So,
Hey, Gerald.
Look who's sitting at the back as well. I bet he's got his popcorn. Hello, my lovely. Lovely to see so many people here. Hello, anyone else that's popped in as well. It's really great to see you here. Anybody that's joining us, if you would like a reading, please pop it into chat. We can do specific questions, or we can do general reading if that's what you like. Just pop it into capitals and I'll put you into the list so that we can do that if we have enough time. Carla said it's rude, was past rude notes back and forth. Oh, we'll pass rude.
We like rude notes.
Yeah. And he can be. There you go. I can imagine Gerald doing that too. Oh, great. Let's do Sheila next, shall we?
Ooh,
Who would like a December reading, please?
Do you want to mix it up with a different starter and a different finisher?
Yeah.
We can do. Whoever wants to go first. I'm not going to move people around, but if you want to.
Oh.
Whoever wants to go first when they're ready, just shout.
Well, tell you what, why don't you pull the lemons first?
Okay. Yeah. Give me a moment then. Giving these ones a good shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you known Sheila then?
Oh, since 2015. Oh, yeah, but that's a story in itself. It's too long to tell here. So, yeah, she's rather fabulous, and we've been through a lot together. Oh. So if I get the cards wrong, I'll pay for it. We actually have we have a term for it. It's getting chandred, and it's like if you get chandred, you know about it. It's kind of like a blunt pickaxe, but that's why I love it a bit.
I love it.
Not that as a Scouser I've ever been known to be blunt or unsubtle in any way, shape, or form.
I'm ready to go. Shall I start?
Go for it.
I've actually pulled Sheila 4 cards because I wanted a bit more of the story. And we start off with the heart and we go on to the snake. So here it feels like what you are looking for, what perhaps you are yearning for, Sheila, is a bit confused, is a little bit difficult to handle, a bit like a snake is constantly moving and twisting. It's a little bit complicated. So I feel that there's a bit of complication that's happening, and perhaps you're not as settled as perhaps you would be in what you would want to be doing at this time. So I pulled some more cards, and I got for you the Ring and Moon. I can't line those up. And so the Ring in Lenormand is often not just about engagement, but about a contract. It's about not necessarily signing something, but although it could be signing. The Moon is to do with work and jobs and taking on perhaps a secondary job. So I wonder if there's something coming up in December that is allowing you to perhaps extend your work, to give you that that focus that perhaps you were craving for a little bit here. And there's an offer of an opportunity of signing something that is going to allow you to perhaps fulfill your work side of it all, or perhaps you're going to be signing a contract to do with a deal, something like that, which is going to make it much more satisfactory for you. The Ring, as I said, is to do with like an engagement, but in Lenormand times, of the Georgian times, you handed over a ring to someone and you were therefore fianced to them, and that was like a formal contract that was made that way. So it's kind of feels quite official in this, and that once it's done, it might be quite difficult to break. So just make sure if this contract comes along, you really, really want to take it up.
Fabulous.
I go next.
Go for it.
Right, I'm going to pull 3 because it felt right when I did 3 cards last time. Okay, so. Ooh. Now that's interesting, building on what you just said, because I got the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles.
Oh.
So that kind of intuitively feels to me like a partnership. And it's a partnership with material consequences. But I think what strikes me with these two, we're in the Court of Swords, so we're in the realm of air. The sword representing it can potentially represent conflict, but on a more positive note, it can represent clarity. It certainly represents questioning for me. And also, Queen of Swords is kind of one of my personal cards as a Gemini.
Yeah.
And I think what strikes me is she doesn't trust very easily and she questions everything. So again, tying in with what Richie said, question everything, weigh everything up on the scales. But then, you know, this pair does say to me that actually that's sort of quite a complement. That is a very complementary pairing. So, you know, if we are in the realms of business contracts or of work, it kind of bodes well. But at the same time, neither of these characters they don't throw caution to the wind. Everything is weighed in the balance very carefully. But then, there we go. This as a result of this, there is a very definite manifestation of this. So that says to me that any potential partnership that's going on here, whether it's a work contract or whatever, whatever happens, has very positive material consequences. So interesting little pairing. I didn't expect to see them.
No.
So, yeah. So there we go.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love the figures in your cards. I really do. Because I saw something like that in my room the other day, and I went to say, what is it you want? And then I stopped myself because husband doesn't like that and everything. But I really like that feeling, like the formless, it's like, and you can step inside and yeah.
Do you know, I hadn't realised, but actually what worked about these, when I started creating them, what really worked was that because they are just silhouettes and I've kind of used the Marseille colours in an abstract way.
Yeah.
Your imagination takes over as to what expression is on their face.
Yeah.
And I think
I like about it. It's like a big question mark. It's
potential,
isn't it?
Yeah, I love working with silhouettes for that reason, because they can be anything and anyone. And then, I mean, it's great for me to create the artwork, but it means that actually it comes to life for each person in a very different way, because you kind of project the personality into the space.
Yeah, I love that.
So, I mean, somebody could look at her and she could be a hard, ruthless bitch, but to somebody else, there could be a gentle, a firm but benevolent smile on that face.
It feels very calm, that card, to me.
It does. For the Queen, for the swords as well, it seems kind of
interesting.
Yeah.
And everyone, I think, because they are so ambiguous, you can, your intuition will see what you need to see in them, hopefully.
Yeah.
So but they feel harmonious anyway as it stands. So go for it, girl. What's the oracle going to say?
So Sheila, I've pulled you one from the body pack and one from the mind, one from the spirit and one for the emotion. Okay, so I'll go with the body first of all. The physical aspects of December for you are getting out and about in nature. So I know, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting cold now, but we still need our we need our little bit of sunlight if we can get it. But I just think you need to be getting out and grounding yourself and earthing yourself. And if you shut up at home all the time, you're kind of missing out. I know that at the moment. I'm not going out as much as I should do. And I know when I'm out and about in nature, I feel much better. So make that time to get out. It'll do your physical body the world of wonders.
Yeah.
And it's such a basic thing as well, isn't it? But we forget about it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
For your thoughts, for the mind, you have got the card of assertion as well. So this is about putting yourself out there. That's putting yourself forward with confidence, and also about expressing the things that you may have been keeping inside as well. So it's not, people often confuse aggression with assertion. It's different. Asserting yourself is asserting yourself with confidence. Aggression is a bit more violent in focus. I don't like aggression, so assertion is different. It's getting the things out there that you need and putting yourself forward, putting yourself first as well. For the spirit, I have got ritual. Okay, so taking a step back and focusing on rituals which work for you. So for me, things like Wicca, witchcraft, a focus on the elements, the different directions. Okay, whatever works for you, whatever rituals work for you. Make the effort to focus on that, concentrate and get into your spiritual practice in this month. Yeah, I keep forgetting we're in December, but we are, coming up to Christmas. So something to do with Yule, perhaps. It could be just that focus on the nights getting darker. It could be some moon work as well. New moon, full moon, etc. So whatever rituals work well for you. And for your emotions, I've got harmony. Okay, so this is a balance needed for your emotions, for your emotional connection with others as well, but making sure that you are connecting with other people. So we've got the evolution focus, in harmony with animals, but really this is about being in harmony with everybody and everything that's around you at the moment. So reconnecting with people and establishing that balance. And that's from me to you for December.
Thank you very much. That's really interesting as well. There's some really nice connections there again. Sheila, I hope that makes a bit of sense to you and has provided you with some thought for December. As you said, I think, Janine, it's really important to try and get outside even when the weather's cold, you don't feel like it, just for 20 minutes, just to reset your circadian rhythms with the sun. It's something I like to do, not be locked away sort of indoors and stuff like that. So thank you for that advice. That's really useful. Did you want to summarize anyone, or are we happy to leave that one there?
I teach analysis, and that's the bad habit that at the end I'm going, right, let's summarize everything.
Let's summarize it. Let's do a plenary.
I am very organized, actually.
There we go. Sheila's just typed, thanks so much, everyone. I do have legal stuff coming up, so that's spot on. Oh,
that's good to have some feedback. Yeah. Thank you. As we said earlier, I mean, it's interesting using these decks, for me, particularly the first time, to know, are they going to work? And of course, they always work, but there's always that fear and that. So it's really nice to have a bit of feedback.
Guys, there's trouble in the chat room. Somebody's typed here, do you have time to do a reading for me? I think we can fit Geraldine.
In capital letters.
Hell yeah.
Have you got time to do a reading for
typing angrily there.
And Sheila's also just pointed, and I do need some self-care stuff and ritual over Christmas. So
lovely.
Fabulous.
Well, I wish you a really happy, we all wish you a really happy Yuletime, Christmas, and hopefully in the new year we'll be able to see you in chats and have some more fun and some more readings for you. So Sheila, wishing you all the very best there. I've just noticed Gerald's reminded everybody that we need to purchase responsibly, these decks, but all three are available in chat if you feel like purchasing irresponsibly at the same time.
He did. Sorry, you told us to write in capital letters. Did you do that? I'm sorry, I did.
He does like to follow instructions, does our Gerald.
It was.
I should have said, can you write it in Wingdings font or something like that? He probably will now. So I'll pop Gerald, and we've got Heather next.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm just going to take a little slurp of. I'm on a little alcoholic drink. I felt festive.
Really?
Festive. Hello. I felt festive. So
words, love.
Did you say frisky?
Festive, I said.
Oh, I said frisky.
No, not frisky. No, I was just not on a Friday night, far too tired. But no, I've got the old eggnog out, and I thought tomorrow we're going to go into Christmassy kind of Christmas decoration-y things.
I just knew intuitively that being in the chat room with the pair of you would be mad, and it's kind of just confirming it. I love it. You know.
Perhaps I'm going to stay off it. Yeah.
We can't have a frisky tarot reading, can we?
Frisky oracle night.
A frisky Ledemont reading.
Oh.
So Heather would just like a reading. So let's do a general one, perhaps for the end of the month, like we've just done for Sheila. Heather was on my channel. Last Friday, actually, we were talking about the court cards and the difficulties of that, and really lovely chat with Heather and with Gerald as well. So do try and catch that one, because there were lots of people said how useful it was to talk about those cards. So
actually, I'd love to see you here. Anything on the court cards, and it'd be really great to actually watch that back and see your perspective on that.
Yeah. Ben says, "Are we on the right tube here?"
Well, if we were, we're not now.
Because he turned up, it was all going so well, wasn't it?
Well, the one thing that you can guarantee is that dignity is going to go out of the window before the end of the story.
Absolutely. Frisky, everyone. Frisky.
I'm sorry.
I'm shuffled and I'm ready.
Right, sorry, I need to focus now. Okay, so you want to go for it, Chris? While I'm
okay, so I'm going to pick 3 cards for Heather. So this is just a general December reading. So that's 1, 2. Actually, I'm gonna do 3 cards: situation, challenge, and advice.
Okay.
So let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh, gold.
You're making tarot reader noises.
I know she's not going to like me for this. Well, actually, she will. So, situation. 8 of Pentacles. So I would say we're focusing on work situation here, and when I say work, productivity. Now, this could be professional work. This could be you putting your skills or your talents or your passions to good use to actually manifest something. But actually, this says to me that in December, this is kind of about the practicality of manifesting. So whether, if you've got a project on the go, if it's a work project, this is kind of where the focus is. Whatever you're building, whatever you're trying to create, whatever you're trying to complete, it's when this comes up to me, this is all about, it's just I love this card because it's all about sort of your skills and your talents being channeled in the right direction to the point where they bear fruit. So that's the situation. Now, the reason I was making tarot noises, your challenge, tarot reader noises. I drew death.
Yeah.
So that says to me that if that sort of productivity, come talent, come work, if all of those issues are in the situation, the challenge for me, and what this is saying to me, is out of comfort zone. The death card to me is always about sort of change that we're not comfortable with, irreversible change, transformation, evolution, not physical death, but in a challenge, in a position of a challenge, that kind of out of comfort zone experience is really not comfortable. So I would say that where this is concerned, that is a really uneasy bedfellow. But I would say that for your challenge, it's to be at ease with that level of discomfort. And actually, if you're going way out of the comfort zone, that's fine. And also, if that stepping out of the comfort zone kind of feels a bit irreversible, then maybe that's fine too. I think this is kind of quite a powerful growth process. And sometimes the biggest growth processes are not the most comfortable. So that's the challenge. Advice. I drew the Page of Cups. So I think even though this is a practical situation or a creative situation or a work situation, the challenge is actually that emotional growth process. Because for me, the Page of Cups, male or female, is the sort of archetype of adolescence. And adolescence, in a wider sense, is a time of growth and transformation. I kind of see this court card as the sort of butterfly emerging from the chrysalis. So that may seem eminently uncomfortable, but again, the advice would be go with the flow. And actually, even though this is a practical situation, the implications for you personally are emotional. So so whether that's work or whether it is just a work related thing or a personal project that you have, don't be afraid if the death card is actually signifying that it's signifying change that maybe does feel uncomfortable, but actually that's an emotional growth process. So that not an easy set of cards, but hopefully that will help and it will resonate. And I'm just going to be interested to see now what comes up in the Oracle and the Lenormand. So, and it can't be as scary as that.
Janine, did you want to go next?
Go for it.
Sure. Well, I don't actually mind not having to have a spread, because with the Oracle cards, it's you don't have to decide whether past, present, future. The oracle cards are nice because they'll separate into the different sections quite easily. So this is different for me because I'm usually working with the tarot. So we've got emotions for you, and this one is called love.
Ooh,
okay,
I love that image.
Yeah,
it's needing to love yourself and what you do. Okay, because I don't think you've been giving yourself enough love recently. Okay, so it's pouring that emotions back to yourself. You're giving out, and you're leaking, basically. So you need to be giving some love back to yourself. You desperately need it. Okay, and you'll be aware of that. Okay, if you're feeling worn out, if you're feeling tired, because you also got the rest card, which is for the body, the physical body. You need to give yourself time to kind of process everything that's going on. You do need to give yourself time to rest. I don't think you're stopping, okay? And that's very important. You need to take that step back. Rest is very important for you. Giving yourself that love and that commitment, that you give to everything else, you need to give that back to yourself. You've also got music for your thoughts. Okay, so music. I think when we get very stressed, particularly about work and day-to-day living, we forget about the things that keep us vital, and music is one of those things. I used to love listening to music, and I've stopped recently because I've got so much work on, and I'm being hard on myself. I know that music frees me. It actually frees up your thoughts, and particularly rhythm, drums, everything like that helps you to release things that are trapped inside your emotional space. So make time to connect to the vibrations and the energy of music. And you also have a card that I picked for the last person as well, which is ritual. So you need to connect to your spiritual practice because I think that you're out of touch with that as well. So this, for me, feels like you're a bit unconnected at the moment. There's massive focus on one area of your life and everything else is starting to drift off. So you need to connect back. Give yourself that time and attention. Connect to things that you enjoy, music, and get back into your spiritual practice.
Wonderful.
Lovely, thank you. I've got some really nice cards for you here, Heather. And I've just noticed you've put in chat that it's your birthday coming up.
Happy birthday, darling.
Very happy birthday. And I've got Clover, Rider, and Woman. So it really feels that you've got something fortunate making its way to you, whether that's information. It's often word of mouth information that's coming across. But Clover is a very little piece of luck and loveliness and positivity that's coming away. It's not going to be winning the lottery, unfortunately, but things just seem to fall into place quite nicely. And this information is coming to you. So I'm just wondering if you're going to get something lovely in an envelope for your birthday, or perhaps a gift. Someone's going to be dropping something off, perhaps even to do with flowers or a gift like that, because it's really cheering you, because there you are as the card of Woman, and it feels like it's racing its way to you just to give you a lift to the spirits, just to let you know how important you are to the universe, because you really are. And I wish you a very happy birthday.
Nice.
Fabulous.
Lovely. And Heather's put lots of lovely comments in here. So let's just see what she does say. I'm resonating credit to this one. I have many challenges going on at this time, trying to channel the difficult energy into something more positive. And yes, my birthday is coming up next week, and these are great cards for your birthday. So that's wonderful. So music is my daily medicine. Yes, Janine, thank you. We don't listen to enough music. I don't. In the daytime, I'm just kind of not listening to it. So it's really nice to go for a walk and listen to some music rather than a podcast or someone's voice talking as well. So
I'm lucky because with working from home, very often I have music on in the background while I'm working.
That's
But
what you should do.
it's just so. I mean, I'm really. I mean, I love all sorts of music, but I'm passionate about classical music, and imagine my tastes are odd. I mean, anything from Stravinsky right through to ABBA, it doesn't matter. It really does keep me alive. And if somebody was to say, well, how, you think, well, where do you want me to start? And I think there's just something. It's interesting, Janine, because you pulled that spiritual practice card.
Yeah.
But I think very often just absorbing music is part of that, because it does connect me to, to something really quite other.
It takes you to different parts of your life as well.
Yeah.
So very often you anchor to specific moments in your life using music. You don't realize that you do it, and you could hear a song, it'll take you back 30 years, you'll start crying, and it'll release things. It's really, really important. Yeah. And when my dad was in his 40s, he said to me, I don't listen to music anymore. He said, I've got to focus on work and stuff. And that stuck with me. And I thought today, I'm doing the same thing. As soon as I'm starting to work in, I'm shutting off the music, the stuff that I used to love. And I'm realizing that's not good for you.
Yeah.
No. We shouldn't be too serious,
No. We're not serious, are we?
Oh, that's... we are serious. We're serious about it.
Sorry, I'm just blocking the bots that are in at the moment. So sorry about that. We've got a few
girls.
Hot girls are waiting here.
You've come to the wrong room, love.
It's a serious room for serious
How
people.
thick are these bots? Have they not realised?
It's because I mentioned the word frisky, I think. That's what it is.
Gosh. Well, there you go. Hot girls are waiting there.
Yeah, well.
There, right there.
You can see, it's like the enthusiasm's written all over our faces, isn't it?
Gerald's quoting here. My taste are odd. Chris Butler, 2nd of December 2022. Don't me now.
I couldn't possibly comment,
Yeah, it is all that frisky talk. Ben, you're doing a fantastic job promoting channels as well. So thank you so much for that. Yes. Really appreciate it. Beth says that's so true. Music is so healing on so many different levels. Singing actually changes your brain chemistry for the better.
Yeah, that's true. It does.
Great. And Jonathan says, the moment I start lurking, the trolls come calling.
Trolls.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be alive without a troll, would it? So there we go. Whilst Jonathan's here, shall we do his reading for him?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
I think it was just a general one. Jonathan, if you want a general one, just let us know. If there's a specific question, please just pop it in.
This is getting me over my CDO. Because you do realise I haven't got time to reorder my cards between them.
I'm deliberately saying. But I'll tell you what, you're going to go last, I've decided. Janine's going to go first, if that's okay.
That means that I can reorder my cards and reshuffle them before I get to me.
You can repaint the room if you want to.
The reading is perfect, so that's great.
Yeah, Gerald says, I love making a music playlist to help you build energy. That's one nice thing about having it on your phone or computer or whatever, so that you can make lists and stuff. We've started listening to this kind of music, that YouTube's got. It's kind of very good sleep music, and it goes on for about 4 hours, and it really does help. Just lifts your brain while you're sleeping, and really good for the energies there. So, general's perfect. So, Janine, do you mind going first? No. She's ready. Oh, okay. I'm going to get shuffling. Hang on. You go for it.
Jonathan, for you, first of all, we've got the element of water for your emotions. Okay, so specifically connecting with your emotions and with the emotions of other people, I do think that you're very good at that. You're very intuitive. You've got that empathy. You can empathize with people. You're very compassionate. Yeah, so this is your strength, basically, and this is what the element that you've got to work with. So I'm presenting you with the element of water. Please make the most of it. If I know you live in Hawaii, so you're surrounded by water. You can connect with that in any way in which you want to, but I do feel that is very important for you, and you already resonate with that. For the spirit, you have got ancestors. Okay, so connecting with your ancestors, doing some ancestry work. I don't know if you've been on Ancestry, starting to connect the family tree. Perhaps there are people on your family tree that are very important for you as well, to give you messages, to connect with you, because we work across time. So please connect deeply with your ancestry work, because that's important for you at the moment. For your mind, which is the yellow card, we've got the inner critic. We can be our own worst enemy sometimes in terms of thoughts. Thoughts can spiral inside our head and they can become like these little demons, you know. So I want you to be your own inner cheerleader rather than your own inner critic. But we can also step back and see our thoughts for what they are as well. So if you can journal, you know, write them all down, get those thoughts out of your head so they're not just spiraling and giving you sleepless nights. It's also that time of year, well, maybe more for us over here, you know, where we're getting dark nights and we're struggling with the SAD, the SAD syndrome, you know, lack of daylight can make us feel a bit despondent. I sometimes get depression at this time of year, so just watch out for that. You've also got nature as well, so getting out and about. So for me, I think you need to get moving, a little bit of movement, getting out and about, experiencing the seasons, throwing those leaves up in the air. Okay, but just enjoying nature. And that's from me.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. I've got some interesting cards here. I've got the fox, I've got the ring, and I've got child here. It seems that somebody's offering you the opportunity of something new that's beginning to start. The child card is often new beginnings and a fresh new outlook on everything there. We've already talked about the ring and how that may be offerings and contracts and agreements that are going on there. But the fox would suggest that there's something that's going on that may not be quite as obvious as, or something's going on in the background. So I'm just wondering about whether you're thinking or going to be offered something that is new and exciting, and something that you really, really want to get involved in. But I would just make sure that everything is in its right place and what you're setting yourself out to do is legitimate, because the fox is a tricky card in the Lenormand. It's a card that often represents, like a fox in a hen house might just go and kill all the chickens because it just wants to eat one of them. So the idea of overindulgence. I happened to pick the fox card because it was on a pint of cider. I don't know if you can see, but I've actually done a bit of altering of the top. So it's actually taken through glass. So it's got a slightly kind of, looks like you're a bit drunk look to it all here. So things aren't quite what they appear, and distortion is happening as well there. So just check out the new begins. It may be talking about the new year in itself with the child card there, but just make sure that you've read everything through and everything that appears what it is actually legit.
Interesting.
Nice.
Well, I've got some interesting ones to go with that, because again, I've pulled the situation, challenge, and advice, 3 cards again. Situation, Jonathan, is the Hermit. And I think immediately when I looked at this, it's whether you're literally on your own or not, it kind of felt to me that the emphasis for this month is just you. And what kind of reinforced that for me was the challenge. We're getting there's a lot of repeat cards coming up, which is quite rare in a lot of these readings, because the devil turned up again. Now, what immediately struck me when I was looking at this devil card is we've got the Hermit, self-reliance, autonomous. But here we've got the 2 little demons tethered to the devil. And I think what this was saying to me as a challenge was that actually sometimes it's difficult. We can feel vulnerable when we're standing on our own, and the temptation is to kind of tether ourselves to other people. And maybe this month that's not the safest place for you to be. Maybe it's actually about trusting your own judgment and, you know, moving forward sort of under your own steam and with your own self-confidence. The advice card is interesting because we've drawn the 4 of Cups. Now, we're in the realm of water. So we're dealing with the emotions, and we're dealing with the heart, with the soul. Now, 4 is, I always see 4 as a number of completion. It's it's 4 square is how I always see it. Now, that could potentially be a bit of a conflict because emotions flow. They don't like to be contained. So on one level, you know, you could look at this and say, well, just be aware of sort of containing your feelings, compartmentalizing them, particularly if that place of being alone feels vulnerable. Maybe it's also, you know, rather than sort of tethering to other people for security, maybe it's time to sort of, you know, to kind of face what's going on inside. But then also there's a positive side to this that, you know, if you think of containment of water, you know, when water sort of is in a, you know, is in a tank or in a pool, it's contained, it's protected. So it actually allows for a level of stillness and peace. So I think that's an ambiguous card. And I think only you can really know which of those options is for you. Mm-hmm. But as I say, the situation card says to me that you're, you know, this is about you this month. It's not necessarily about connections or partnerships. It's about maybe what's going on in you. Just be careful that actually, you know, that can feel quite daunting. So just be aware that actually sometimes we can sort of immediately run into the arms of others when it's not necessarily the best thing to do. But yeah, just think about what's the score with this one. You know, is this about finding stillness, or is it about, you know, is it about that sort of stagnation? Maybe things need to flow a little bit more freely. Maybe then you need a little bit more self-honesty, or sometimes you need to be a little bit more forthright in expressing yourself to others and maybe setting boundaries to sort of keep that solo space in place, at least for this month while you need it. So, yep. So that's, there we go. So we've, again, just to recap, we've got the Hermit, the Devil, and the Four of Cups.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was lovely. That seemed a long one, Chris. You did fantastic there. Yeah.
Was that long? Because it kind of just
a long one. Well, yeah, value for money today, I tell you.
That's what I really felt. That was intuitively what I felt from the card. So yeah,
brilliant. I love it when that happens. Jonathan, I hope that makes sense. I know you put some comments in. I'm going to read them in a minute. We're going to do Gerald in a moment. We're going to pause for it because Gerald, of course, has overcomplicated everything. He wants to reading about 5 possible topics of study focus in 2023, and he's curious which ones that we think may be the case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to have a little think about how you're going to perhaps pull cards for that one, we'll do that one. So I'm going to give everyone an option to think about that one if you're happy to do that one there. I think that's what Gerald wanted. So yeah,
and that's a mixture of uppercase and lowercase. So does that count?
Yeah, absolutely. Whilst we're getting our head around that one, I mean, just to overcomplicate it even more, let's see what the chat's coming up with. People talk about their musical playlist here. There's some really nice tracks that people mentioning. Jonathan says, I've just started Nancy Hendrickson Ancestral Grimoire.
It's great. It's fantastic. I've been working with that as well. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, I definitely recommend that book. Yeah.
Yeah. And Heather's got a spiritual practice playlist. Lorena.
Oh, Lorena.
Enya Lisa. Oh, that sounds lovely. Yeah. And Pip says, we're now on the big telly at home.
Oh, wow.
I hope you've got your nice log fire going as well, because it's very cozy. Heather says, always playlist expanding and evolving. Hello, Tracy. Very lovely to see you here. And Micah as well. I've seen you in as well. So anyone else that's joined us. Oh, the cat's having a stretch behind me. Jonathan says, I love my alone time and feel like I have to fight to get it.
Yeah, for your card, Chris, because you said the Hermit.
You know, it's funny, when those cards came up, it kind of really felt quite urgent. So it's actually, yeah, that's good to know.
And the ancestry work as well. That was so good.
Pagan after.
Yeah, he says, I have a pagan magazine asking me to help them start their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's turning out to be me doing all the heavy lifting.
Actually, it's so that it was more relevant than I realised. I mean, that really is about you drawing your boundaries and keeping your own safe space, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that fits with what Richie said as well with his cards, yeah.
Making sure that, you're entering something you understand. What's going on. Tracy, you're very welcome. You don't have to apologise. And we have some sales here. I've lost Gerald now. He has purchased responsibly and he knew his limits, and he's adding your oracle to his curated.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honoured. Thank you. Wow.
Darling, it's a stunning deck. It's no surprise people are buying it.
Absolutely.
You know,
I worked with my dad on this deck, so my dad's the graphic designer. He's very shy. He never shows his face on camera, but he's very, very
did. I felt really honoured. He did last week, didn't he?
Yeah, it was hard for him to do that though. He wasn't. He wasn't going to. But
yeah. Ben is doing a fantastic job. He is today's favourite. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you
my best friend.
In there. And Beth is letting us know what's on her playlist, 60s and 70s. Oh, Jefferson Airplane.
Jefferson Airplane, yes.
I love a bit of Jefferson Airplane.
The best.
And Pip says, we do have the log burner lit. Debbie and I are both watching. Debbie says hello. So hello to you, lovely Debbie. Debbie's very good with essential oils and mixing them.
Oh.
She's made me a lovely concoction. Smells of all my favourites.
Oh,
Debbie, I need some more if you're watching. I'm running out. So, just a hint.
Jared's just ordering my deck. Thank you, darling.
Oh,
I'm glad you like
everyone purchasing that. It's kind. Oh, no, there he is.
Oh.
Just waiting to hear his reading from. We're getting onto it. We promise we'll get there in a minute. There.
Oh, now that's flattery will get you everywhere, darling. That is the nicest thing that somebody has said to me all week. I would buy Chris's deck just based on his smile, despite the crooked teeth.
He never said that.
No, he didn't. I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Queen, please. That's what I'm saying about that one. You've made him very happy there.
You've made me happy. That really does make my day. Thank you, sweetheart. Playlists, that's the weird thing, because my playlist has been my best mate for the last couple of weeks. Because Sheila, who was in here, is a retired singer, and her first album was re-released a couple of weeks back. But of course, I ended up doing the promo videos for it, and it was great fun. And it was kind of one of those really weird situations where, because that was an album that was out sort of when I was young, and then all of a sudden, if somebody had told the teenage me that the 55-year-old me would be designing the promo videos for the re-release, you think, wow, it's kind of it just, isn't it weird how the sort of strange twists and turns that your life takes, and how you cross paths with people, because we've known each other since 2015, but of course, her music was part of my life, when I was younger. And so it's funny that music has been so much part of the discussion tonight, and the power of music, because that's music that has been very healing to me at various times in my life, along with sort of other artists. And the big thing for me over the last year has been rediscovering a lot of the music from my teens, which I kind of walked away from. And just listening and thinking, why did I stop listening to this? How did I forget how wonderful this music was, or how joyful it was? So it's
nice to have the opportunity to go back.
It does. It takes you and it drops you right back in that period when you and you forget those feelings that you had back then. You're thinking, oh wow, this is quite powerful stuff.
And I know the times when some of the stuff I've been listening to, and particularly because when I was doing the advertising video for Sheila's album, because you're playing the same song over and over again while you're editing the video. And it was kind of, it was just one particular moment when you think, oh, I feel young again in a really best possible way. You know, I may not look it, but at least I feel it.
Yes.
You know?
It's nice, though, isn't it, when you can cast your mind back 30 or whenever, how many years ago, when you're young again.
It was more than 30 years, look, but we won't go there.
Oh dear.
Okay. And Indigo Jaguar just saying, and we just lost Christine McVie as well. Yeah. Really, really sad. But there you go.
Okay, should we get on with Gerald's reading? We all okay to do this one?
Yeah.
I've just noticed somebody did ask if we have got time, Davisha. I'm not sure if you've got time, but we'll see how we go. I'm not going to promise anything.
How many more have we got to do?
It was Gerald, and then if we have got time,
right.
Davisha did say but we are coming up to the hour and a half. So, right. So Gerald's got 5 options. Look, well, unfortunately, I can lay 5 cards out and just see which one's got the best message for you. So, reading about 5 possible topics to study focus on in 2023. I'm curious which one you feel. Option 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Who do you want to go first?
Go when you're ready, because it depends how complicated you're going to make it. It's already complicated, but
I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for the 5th one, I could put them all together and mix them and do it that way.
Okay, whatever you want to, my lovely.
Something a little bit different. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'm reading with these slightly differently now. So for the first option, Gerald, is adventure. Okay, so this is just saying basically just go for the first option. Okay, without even thinking about it, because you can see the person just jumping from the spacecraft here. So adventure is all about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone as well and kind of reaching for the stars. So that is a real Aries card, that one. For number 1. For number 2, I've got the card of air. Okay, so I think you need to step back and give this one a little bit more thought. Okay, you're going to need to go through all the different aspects of this, perhaps plan, organize, kind of write it out as well. You know, get a really good big picture perspective on the second one. Okay, so maybe don't just jump straight in for the second one. For the third one, I have dreams. So paying attention to your intuition with the third one. This has got a more of an emotional perspective and perhaps a bit of a spiritual element to it as well. So anything intuitive you're picking up around the third option, please go with that and work with that. For the fourth option, I have things a bit more balanced and in harmony with that fourth option. So a bit more calmer, a bit more peaceful. Okay, this is perhaps going to flow a little bit more easier. And then I'm going to put all of the cards together for the 5th element. That's a film. Bruce Willis, was it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Oh, one just threw itself out, so we're going to have to go with that. Okay.
Jumpers.
So for the 5th one, we have meditation. Okay, really give this one a lot of thought. Okay, so not to jump straight into this one. You're going to have to give this one all of your intuitive slant as well. So you're going to have to, just put this one to one side. Okay, and then just see what comes out of that. So for 1, just go for it. 2, you need to write it all down, get organized. The third one was a bit more balanced. I forget the 4th one. And the 5th element is meditation. I hope that helps.
I love it. Shall I go, Chris? Do you want to?
Yeah, you go, and then I'll
it might kind of really follows merely what Janine says. So I pulled 5 cards out, one to represent each one of your focus, your studying. So in position number 1, you have dog. So whatever it is, it's going to be friendly. It's going to be reliable. You're going to find it really, really interesting. And it's going to be something that's just fun and not too difficult. It's going to be easy and something nice to play with, a bit like an animal, like a pet, I suppose. Now, Janine, you said number 2 was very written and writing, and I've got letter for that one. So again, it's to do with, perhaps it's going to be a bit more studious. Perhaps there's more information. Perhaps you're going to find you're going to be finding out an awful lot more. There might be a bit more research. There might actually be that you have to go and do more reading, more studying, and there's going to be more communication happening that way. Number 3, you've got tree. So that's going to help you grow and ground yourself and root yourself, and it's going to be very good for your own spiritual and mental growth on that one there. 4, you've got the coffin. So that is going to be, when you do it, you're going to do it, and that's going to be the end of it. You won't need to go down that path anymore. And I actually feel that study won't take very long, and it's going to be cut off quite quickly. You're going to, it's going to be done and dusted, and that's that. And your final one, you have ship. So that's going to allow you to really expand your horizons and find real new interest that can take you to there. So there we go. That's a really quick whistle stop of what I'm getting from there. As I said, Janine, there's quite a lot of parallels that you talked about there. That's fascinating. Chris, over to you.
Now, I've done it differently because I've just gone with 3 cards again.
Okay.
But it's interesting, the combinations that have turned up, because I've got 2 cups cards and a pentacles. But interestingly, I've got 2 of those are 3s. I've got the 3 of cups and the 3 of pentacles. And my third one is the 6 of cups. So what this is kind of saying to me, I mean, we've got the realm, the physical realm, and we've got the emotional realm. Now, 2 of the 3 cards are water cards. So that's immediately saying to me, go for the option that you intuitively feel is the best one for you. I think this is go with your gut. Don't go with your rationale. But interestingly, again, because we've got like sort of a 6 of cups, and then 2 3s makes 6. Now we've got 5 options, but this 6 of cups is key to me, because this is all about, it's kind of like, this is a feel-good card for me. I mean, in the Waite Smith, it's that kind of nostalgia card. In the Golden Dawn, it's called the card of, it's called the card of pleasure, but it's that sort of innocent pleasure. So it says to me, go with your gut, but also just go with what brings you the most joy. If you're going to pick one of the 5, which is the one that makes you feel the happiest? Because that's what you're going to be the most passionate about. I think in terms of actually the balance of elements we've got here, maybe this is saying go with the topics that are either practically based or emotionally based, rather than being, you know, sort of the ones that are kind of associated with the feminine elements rather than the masculine elements. So again, go with your gut, go with the practical and the emotional, and go with what actually makes you feel the most impassioned. So, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. We've got some lovely feedback from Gerald. He says, Janine, what you said about each option makes complete sense to him. So that's really good. And I've got some nice feedback as well. I've lost it. There it is. Well done. Reading makes sense to me for each of those options. It's quite interesting doing options like that. You don't often get a chance to do that one there. And he says, wowza, Chris, this makes a lot of sense.
Fabulous.
There we go. And Tracy says, sounds like you can't make a wrong choice, but them all together there. So there you go. Hello to people dropping in or popping in. Lisa, it's lovely seeing you here. We are nearly at the end, but we've still got a little bit more to go. That's okay with everyone. Lisa's hanging Christmas lights.
Oh, that was me yesterday. But at mum and dad's, I haven't done my own yet. I can't be bothered. It'll have to wait till the weekend.
They all get tangled up and you end up walking on them and it hurts, doesn't it? And they break and it's just... Have you put your Christmas decorations up yet, Janine?
Mid-November. And I did it just to be rebellious.
I love it.
Basically, I was bored and I said, I'm going to put the lights. You can't possibly do that in the middle of November. I said, why not? Because it goes against all the rules. Whose rules?
Can I
do it anyway.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can see. To cheer up the pandemic, I put lights up round all the rooms upstairs. And it was, again, I thought, sod it, I don't care if it's not Christmas. I just want cheer. The problem is,
why not?
I just never took them down. They just, they stayed up. My camera's wonky. I shouldn't have moved the camera.
I watched a video once that apparently you're not a proper tarot reader unless you've got a set of fairy lights up.
Really?
That's brilliant.
I've got 4 sets up.
I'm a proper tarot reader then, yes. That's the certificate.
Ben says wonderful reading. You say you're very, very welcome. Have we got time to pop one more quick one in?
Yeah, go for it.
Davisha, if we're still here, future career.
Right.
Okay, so we'll quickly just do this one and then all readings after are closed. But yeah, really enjoying this one. So let's pop that one in there. Thank you to everyone that's been in. Really Should I give people a handy hint? This is what I discovered a long time ago.
What's
Pringles
that?
Tins.
Pringles tins?
Pringles tins. Yeah, what you do is don't try and put them back in the box they came in. You put the empty Pringles tin, so you eat the Pringles. You can give it a bit of a wipe out inside. You can put the plug into it, and then you can wrap the lights along the cylinder, and it keeps them to stop being tangled up.
Oh, what a good idea. Wow.
I'll come here again. That's not a bad tip.
Then you can just unwrap them and you just pull them out at the end of when you're ready to put them out and just go.
And it's just such hard work having to eat the Pringles beforehand, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know what Pringles are called in the States. So
Pringles.
They're Pringles, aren't they? I know they've got different names all the way around the world. But yeah, crisps or chips that come in cans. There you go.
Well, you don't want any leftover chips stuck to your lights, do you? That would be the worst.
Step 1, eat the Pringles. You're very welcome with the Pringles. I can now, up and down the country, around the world, people are now eating Pringles, thinking I'm going to put my fairy lights around them come the 12th of January.
Well, we've kind of done sort of buy responsibly. We'll have to have another hashtag for binge eat responsibly, won't we?
Okay, so
right.
Future career reading, please.
Should I go?
Go for it. I'm trying to make sense of my 3 cards. I've got really interesting ones. So go first, and then it'll probably help me.
Davisha, sacral chakra, okay for you. So whatever you're doing with your work, you really need to connect to it on a deep level. Okay, so it can't just be about money. It can't just be about paying the bills. It's got to really connect with you. And I think it's got to have some spiritual focus as well for you. This could be something that interested you on a deep level from maybe going back to when you were a kid, you know, deep untapped talent. Okay, so whatever you're passionate about, whatever you feel most creative about, okay, I'd like you to kind of tap into that for your career. Okay, so perhaps this is something that you've dreamt about doing, but you've not took that first step yet. Okay, that's on an emotional level. So for spiritual, we've got this a few times. Ritual.
Well, it's back.
So I really do think for you, the career's got to have a spiritual slant. It's got to be important. It's got something that you can connect with. It's got to fit in with your ritual practice as well. For the body, Detox. Okay, so you're asking about career. We've got detox for the body as well. So, yeah, you just need to get rid of all the gunk that has come with other jobs. You know, it's kind of left you feeling a bit deflated. So this could be like a breath of fresh air, cleaning all of that rubbish out in order to connect to something that you're really passionate about. I've got the feeling that a creative career and pathway is going to be good for you. And then finally, for your thoughts, we've got the throat chakra. So this is about communication. This is about speaking out. This is about finding your voice. So it's almost as if this career choice is going to be great for you. Is going to kind of wake you up, really enable your voice. You know, people to see and hear the real you. What's going on inside your creative expression. Okay, so you really need to go with your heart for this focus. Okay, and you need to find your voice as well.
Can I go next? Because actually, your cards have kind of made sense of my cards to me. So, well, I'll string them together. I've drawn 3 again, but I kind of felt rather than doing situation, challenge, and advice, that actually when the 3 cards came out, they were a sequence. So I'm just going to read them as a sequence. Now, the first card that came out was the Popess, the High Priestess. And I think in this situation, there's 2 things going on for me here. I think it's interesting what Janine said about the spiritual side of any future career path, because I think her appearing right at the beginning of the sequence actually puts an added emphasis onto that. But also it says to me that this is kind of whatever step you're going to take is a step of blind faith, because actually your path is hidden behind the veil as it stands at the moment. So I think go with your heart. Go with something that actually you feel passionately and spiritually about, because I think that spiritual connection is important. But also, you know, your next career step might be a step of faith. Now, following that was the 8 of Wands. So it's kind of immediately saying, step into that kind of slightly, that space of unknowing. But actually what it's also very encouragingly saying is that by doing that, you will actually experience really positive forward motion. So it's maybe not necessarily important to know exactly or precisely where you're going. And there is an element of trust there. But the final card, which to me was the most lovely, was you may be stepping into that blind place, but you will be met, because the final card is the Knight of Cups. And the thing that was most important for me here was him reaching out to offer the cup. So this may initially, your first steps might be a step of blind faith, but actually we're dealing with positive movement forward, and maybe stepping into that dark place, you may find that all of a sudden somebody reaches out a hand to grasp you and also to offer you something positive in the cup. So that's my 3 cards. It's not precise, but then again, I think it's the sort of thing that maybe it doesn't need to be at the moment. Just go with your intuition, because I mean, I think that's what she is about most of all. And you will be met halfway.
Okay, I've got a very interesting reading here. I wish you could see it laid out here, because I've actually got the Moon card, which is in Lenormand, is actually about work. And either side of this, you have got the Tower and you have got Fish. Now, yeah, really interesting, because to me it's saying on one side you have the option to perhaps be looking at a job or staying in a job that's going to keep you there for years and years and years, and something that you'll be able to work your way up if you want to, but there's the assurance there of stability, perhaps a little bit dull, but you have the ability there to almost work your way up through the different layers of your job. And then on the other side, you've got Fish, which is about finances and money. And it's really interesting, Janine, talking about, you don't have to be chasing the money on that one there, because you've got the 2 things going on. You've got your work reassurance and everything there. Or you could just be going, let's go and make as much money as we possibly can. Coming out of this, you've got house and key. And you don't have to know much about the Lenormand, perhaps, to say that if you carry on the chosen trajectory that you want to, there is a chance to perhaps move. And we've got a key here that unlocks a door to a new house or a new property, or perhaps you will be going to work to do with real estate, or perhaps selling houses, or perhaps something along the lines of family. The family unit and that there. I'd love to do a bigger layout of this one because I think it's really firing up. And the Norman cards tend to be read in big spreads, and I'm only pulling a few out here to be able to give that. But it's really interesting how these cards have come out to indicate and to back up what a lot of things that you two have been saying as well. So yeah, there we go. I hope that makes some sense and gives you some guidance there. And thank you for letting us read for you there.
Yeah. Thank you everyone who's let us read for them.
I'm just catching up with chat here. I think we're done for everybody reading tonight, so you can relax. Chris, you can start to put your deck in order if you want to now. Yes. If that's going to make you happy. Janine, you're going to put your colours in order, or are you just going to...
I already did it.
I love it.
I'm putting into neat little piles of suits and makers as we speak. Don't mind me.
Can I ask you a question, Bob? How do you have you pulled a card from your deck to find out how your deck feels about you creating it?
No.
Oh, I haven't done
that. Yeah.
Should we do it?
Deck how it feels about your relationship.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Are you going to pull one from yours as well?
Yeah, I've not even done that even with mine. I thought I had
one card. What does the deck think?
I'm doing this to stop me from reordering.
This is actually quite nerve-wracking because what if your deck doesn't like you that much?
It is a good question. There we go.
Mind you, after these readings, it probably I think the decks like us. So
I had a jumper. I'm going to have to take it.
Oh, go on. You go first.
I just mentioned it. Fish.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
He wants us to make money. We can make money, my friend.
Oh. I got gratitude.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, that's good.
So mine says thank you. That's nice.
Yeah. Now, I got the 8 of Cups.
Oh.
But I actually feel quite good about that
because
the 8 has always been one of my favorite cards, but it always it always represents positive movement forward, albeit not sometimes if it's not easy movement.
Yeah.
So I can kind of live with that because that sums up my attitude to the tarot. It very often tells you things that you don't want to hear, but you will always benefit from them. So yeah, I like that.
Perhaps the deck is you're missing 2 cups. Yeah. So perhaps it's look at it from that different perspective as well. Am you missing 2 cups that you needed? Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
that's not what I would have expected to come out. But it's
And I wasn't expecting this because
I
didn't make the deck to go ka-ching. You know? That's what it wasn't about that at all. So interesting.
But
mine's very polite. It's a very typical English deck. Thank you, please, thank you.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Janine, thank you for asking that question. That was really good. I like that one. Should have to go and have to think about doing that a bit more often. Perhaps when we buy new decks, we should be doing that. I've never done that before, but I know a lot of people interview their decks, don't they, when they buy them for the first time. Okay, Janine, I'm going to start by saying thank you so much for coming and spending time with us this evening. It's been absolutely lovely. Do you have anything exciting coming up, tarot or oracle, in the next month before Christmas, or are you taking bit of a sort of steady break into Christmas.
Well, on Tabby, we're kind of putting forward a deck a day, decks that you would be interested in purchasing, that kind of thing. And then getting ready for the midwinter conference next January. And it's tarot every day, actually. There's no rest for the tarot reader.
Absolutely. Opening up your decks at Christmas Day and hoping that you've got a new deck, is it? Or have you got your eye on anything new?
Well, Chris's deck is one. Yours, Richie. Because you can never have enough Lenormand decks.
You can never. They're so small. You can just keep buying them.
So already my wish list is like this, and it's just growing bigger. So, how about
Chris,
you?
I was going to say, Chris, what about you? What have you got coming up?
I think it's kind of starting to wind down towards Christmas, but I mean, in terms of tarot stuff, obviously my kind of YouTube channel I was planning all sorts, which then for various family reasons got put on hold in the middle of the year. But thankfully, I'm kind of now managing to get the threads. So I'm sort of starting to film my Learn Lenormand course, which is something that I was hoping to start doing earlier on this year. So I don't know when that's going to appear, but I mean, I've started putting that together, and which is good fun. But also as well, working on this kind of encouraged me to revisit some of my other unpublished decks, because I've actually got 4. And what I'd like to do over the course of the next year or so is basically just revisit them one by one, tidy them up, and then make them available on NPC, because they're not necessarily, decks that a commercial publisher would want to take on, but actually as a niche interest, it would be nice. The one I'm working on at the moment is I did an annotated tarot deck years ago, first in black and white, and then I revised it about 5-6 years ago in color. So I'm going to revisit that, and hopefully sometime in the spring that will be ready to go out on NPC. So so combination of just working on getting my Lenormand course up and running on YouTube, and then also just hopefully getting the next one of these out. So and it's nice, it's just fun, it's not work, it's fun.
It is fun. Yeah. Well, apart from when it gets a bit stressful, I mean,
apart from when you have problems with upload on your publishing platform of choice.
We've had a few days of bad tempers and swearing.
I knew you were in a really awful mood. The fact that you actually sort of sent me I need to let off steam message at, I think it was 8:30 in the morning. Always having problems,
but it's all complete now. It's all good. NPC are wonderful again, and it's all good, and the decks are available there as well.
So what about you? What have you got coming up?
I've got quite a busy few weeks coming up to Christmas. I am next week. I'm with Ali doing some readings over on her channel. I'm with Gerald quite a bit, doing some readings and doing some stuff around Yule. I've got meeting up with Orshi and some other friends to do some Christmas. So there's a lot of Christmassy Yule things, which I'm really looking forward to. Because as you say, it's quite dark and cold out, so don't want to be going out in that one. So it's really nice to be catching up with people. I think it's a good time of year to catch up with people who you haven't had a lot of time to talk to later on in the year. So that's really nice. And I'm just going to hopefully be doing some more readings at the shop in Eastbourne. That's Eclectic Witch. Nice. There over Yule, and just really enjoy the quietness and the and catch up with some reading. I think I've got loads of books that I need to be getting through, and I think this is the right time of year just to have a cup of tea and put a blanket on and sit in the chair and read. So that's really what I want to do. So
Oh, me and Chris are on next week.
Oh yes, we are.
Yeah, so Chris going to be showing his cards on my Instagram channel.
Oh wow. When's that?
So that's next Friday, 7:30 again, and all about Chris and his cards. So that's all on my channel, the In Between Tarot. So we're going to be doing that. I need to put the advert up.
I might I might give a sneak peek of the forthcoming deck as well.
Amazing.
As it exists at the moment, because it is going to go through some quite heavy revisions. But yeah, I'll bring that with me so that you can have a look. Yeah.
Thank you, both of you. It's been an absolute joy. Let's do it again in the new year. Let's do this. It's so lovely talking to you and working with you and doing this. It's been great fun. Thank you, everybody in chat, for contributing and allowing us to do some readings and for making it. And thank you to all the mods who have kept us safe and been putting links in. 10 o'clock, Ben is with Tanji, so don't miss that one there. Have a great weekend, everyone. I've got to remember how to turn this thing off and do the video now, so I've got to concentrate now. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you all really, really soon.